I'm joined by Niall from the ASFP. Hello, lovely to see you, Niall.
Hello.
Great presentation. I know there's a lot been going on over the last few days. What is it the ASFP actually do?
The ASFP is the Association for Specialist Fire Protection. It's a trade association of manufacturers and contractors who make passive fire protection products and install them.
And why over the last few years? Because, there's been certain fires that have come and brought to our attention, maybe more than we would normally hear about them, some horrific things. Why is it now more important than ever?
What's more important than ever is that passive fire protection products are manufactured and installed correctly, that they're designed correctly, and so on. That's the most important thing, and that's being picked up by the latest government consultation from the Ministry of Housing, Communities and Local Government, where they're talking about enhanced regime for testing and certification of passive fire protection products, third-party certification and certification of installers.
Do you feel that this is something that you guys have been talking about for many, many years, as I'm sure, but now, and only now, it seems to be at the forefront of everyone's mind? People are talking about it now.
We have been talking about this for quite a number of years. The ASFP was formed in 1975 to address issues with the steelwork sector. In terms of third-party certification of products and installers, it's a membership requirement of the association that all contractors are third-party certificated. So we're really glad that the government is looking at this. And you're right, we've been talking about it, and unfortunately, like many disasters in many fields, it takes a big fire, such as the Grenfell fire, to make people take notice. I would like to think that people would have taken more notice after the Lacanau House fire in 2009, but that was not to be.
And why do you think that is? Why do you feel that it takes, as you say, an unfortunate disaster for everyone to stand up and say, hang on a minute, why have we not done something about this?
There's two answers to that. One is just human nature, because that tends to be, if you look at aircraft disasters or everything else, you find the similar sort of thing. And the other thing is it gets in the way of making money. I mean, I'm afraid, safety, if you're going to put more passive fire protection to buildings, if you're going to fit sprinklers, if you're going to put 2 stairways in blocks of flats, this costs money. It's going to have an impact. We have government position. We've had 30 years of a deregulatory regime. We haven't reviewed our building regs since 2005. All of this is kind of, and the background of fire deaths falling. So government has seen fire deaths falling from 800 or so a year in the 80s to 300 or so a year now. So whenever the fire sector, have tried to speak to government, it's kind of be, go away, we're not interested. And it's taken Grenfell to make them change their mind.
I mean, it's, as you say, it's so sad that has to happen. But are you seeing a massive change now? Is the future looking better for this fire protection and fire prevention?
There is a massive amount of activity going on. I know, especially when you talk to like my friends and the general public, and they say, well, how come this public inquiry hasn't finished yet? And I think there's a hell of a lot of stuff to go through. Why hasn't the laws been changed in this, that and the other? Because we've got to consult, and there's a huge number of interest. The government has done some actions quite quickly. They put a ban on combustible materials on the outside of buildings. They've done a number of other changes, including removal of ACMs from certain buildings. There is an awful lot going out. As CEO of my association, I go to 2 meetings a week which are Grenfell related and have done for the last 2 years, and that will continue. The pace of activity which has arisen in government and in the fire sector and in the construction industry since Grenfell is unparalleled, and it will be going on for years.
Do you think as well it's going to change more now because the average person, like I had no idea of what rules and what regulations were in place already, and then you hear about these things, you're like, hang on a minute, like you say, how was that allowed?
People were, somebody used to say to me, fire is hot, but fire safety is not. In other words, fire is dangerous and a problem, but people were interested in fire safety. You go to a party and you say, what's doing? Well, actually, I'm involved in passive fire protection. They go to sleep straight away. Now they think, oh, fire safety, that's interesting, because people that think fires, it never happens to them. And in most cases it doesn't. It's actually quite a rare event. You know, you're much more likely to get run over by a car than you are to die in fire. But once you start digging down into that and to look at certain vulnerable areas of groups and certain types of housing and high-rise, then all of a sudden the probabilities go up. And also, you know, is it right in the 21st century that we're still having major fires with large numbers of people being killed needlessly, when we know from the work we've done over the years and other people have done over the years that it was a lot of these fires are eminently preventable.
And before I let you go, and you are making fire sexy, by the way. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Tell me about why FIREX is such an incredible place to be, to tell people and let the industry know what the future is.
Well, it's the one place where you can get the whole of the industry together. I mean, we have 23 members exhibiting here. We have a passive fire protection zone, which 10 years ago didn't exist, even then FIREX was still going. And there's all sorts of other sectors here that are also here, you know, and other trade associations. So there is one of the places where you can learn a lot, you can meet the industry. There's a lot of very good seminars and presentations being given, and we know that drives attendance. And so if you want to learn about fire, or you want to exhibit, or you want to attend, or you want to increase your knowledge, this is the place to be.
Niall, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.